Well, today's Friday, and I've been working since I think Wednesday. I started doing the sanding because I had to move these blocks down from their initial 33 millimeters, ultimately down to 29.5 and 31.5. And so that takes a long time. One thing that did help was that I put some stick-on 80 grit paper on another board, and that works much better than the 120 grit that I have on my big sanding board. And so I worked on it Wednesday, a little bit yesterday, not much, but then I'm back at it today, and that line, basically I want to obliterate that line, kind of send all the way to the center of that line, because that line is the 29.5, which is half a millimeter above what I ultimately want, because I will be doing sanding later when I put on the ribs and linings. So this is the neck block. I'm almost touching that line, but I want to actually go to the center of the line. And this is the tail block. So yesterday what I basically worked on was getting these sanded so that there was a 2 millimeter difference between the tail block and the neck block. That was the hardest part. Because once you have both of them 2 millimeters apart, then you can just sand the whole surface instead of just concentrating on one, which was the neck block, because that was the one that needed to be brought down more. And so I'm going to be showing you a little bit about it's slow going. It does take a long time to sand down. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera. Okay, so here's I have a scrap 2x2 board that I have self-stick 80 grit paper, sandpaper on here. It's not as good as just having a single sheet, because sometimes it catches on the edges, but that's okay. But the 80 grit works much better to move things down than the 120 grit. So again, I want to end up with this surface at 31.5, which is 0.5 of a millimeter away from my final dimension, and this surface down to 29.5. So basically what I do now is I can move the whole thing. When I first started, I had to sand a 2 millimeter difference between this one and then 2 millimeters lower on this one. So in that case, I couldn't sand the whole thing. I had to concentrate on sanding this part until I got the 2 millimeter difference. Okay, so here's basically, and every so often when this is filled with dust, I vacuum the dust off to have a fresh surface, because I think that cuts better. Okay, so it's going to be noisy, but basically the best way is I hold it at the blocks, and luckily there are these cutouts here that I can hold on to. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. And I kind of press down hard as I do this. So you see what happens? The sanding creates that. And every so often I check. I'm touching the one edge of the line. I want to go to the middle of the line, so have half a line left. Sometimes I've done this. I don't think it makes a difference really. So I'm going to measure it right now. See, I can measure it either by this, but it's easier with the ruler actually. So I'm at this is the neck block. So I'm at 30. Oh, good. So I have 1/2 millimeter to go there. And $32. Yeah. So it's even. 1/2 millimeter left. Still not down to the center of the line yet, but this one I might be. No, 32. Occasionally I've done this, but I don't really think that accomplishes anything different. Ooh, almost there. It's about 29.75. Ooh, that one's there. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one says, yeah, this one's higher. Yeah, so maybe concentrate on this a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I think this one is higher still. Maybe what I could do is just, let's see. I think I'm done. Let's check it. Okay, 29.5 and 31.5. I've got it, by George. And so I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but if you look closely, you should see a slight, well, let's see, how can I, right here, it is, I can't read it. Well, anyway, this end is higher than this end, just by a slight difference, 2 millimeters difference. And that's the incline of the violin. And if you look at you can look at the sides of the block that are sticking beyond the mold. See, on the back side, there is less of the block than on the top side. And the same thing here. Less sticking beyond the mold here than here. And so that tells you there's that incline. Okay, that only took 3 days.